The Captain Black Big Band ironically started out of boredom. I mean, I had had maybe 2 months off in Philadelphia, and I said, man, I need to do something consistently. So I talked to Chris's Jazz Cafe about doing a big band there, and kind of being a mentor and hiring people from University of the Arts and Temple to be a part of the band. And I would just play charts and get some things done. But it kind of grew to something that I didn't expect it to grow to. Todd Bayshore called me up before I started the band and said, hey man, I'd love to be in the band and play lead alto. I wasn't familiar with Todd Bayshore before then, but he came down, he drove down to Philly, and we did the band, and he started doing arrangements of some of my other tunes. And sadly, actually, it turned out, sadly but in a good way, I don't know if that makes sense, but it turned out to be something that I didn't actually mean it to be. I mean, like I said, I wanted it to be a tool for the students from University of Arts and Temple, but a lot of them, man, were so bogged down with their other responsibilities and school responsibilities that they couldn't do the big band. I had a day that they were either in big band at Temple or a day they were in classes at University of Arts. So I ended up bringing in guys from New York to come down to Philly. And before you knew it, the band was almost a New York band of guys coming down to New York that wanted to play in a big band. So we did 2 live records, and it grew to this great thing that it is now. And we're doing Dizzy's coming up in October, and we're working on a European tour. And I'm just grateful of what it's turned into. But the original intent was just something to do while I was home in Philly that has grown. And it also speaks to the void in big bands led by young African Americans, which I hadn't even thought about, honestly, at that time. I mean, and since then I've had great conversations with McBride, because now he's got his big band, Nicholas Payton doing his big band. I'm not saying we followed each other, but it was great. I mean, in his liner notes, he gives a shout out to me. Same here. We're all 3 young band leaders trying to do it. Trying to do some different band leading things. I know Igmar Thomas is another one doing his big band, and Jason Marshall. So it's really cool to see everybody embracing an art form that's hard to keep on the road. It's hard to do, pay 17 guys, but that was the original intent and what it has grown into. I mean, my musical vibe on the big band is actually the same one that I try to have for a small group, which is hard, which is, here's these big band charts. We all know what they say, but I like to treat the big band like a small group and have that same type of freedom where I can lead them into other areas and lead them into other sections. Somewhat like Butch Morris, but in a different way, but that's the intent, where you have this structure and now we're going to play with it. The issue is finding 17 people who think like that. I mean, it's easy when you're like, oh, I need to find a bass player and a drummer for my trio who are on the same vibe. I mean, I wouldn't even say that's easy. That's hard enough. So now you have a big band and you need to find 17 people who understand that your big band is going to be a little different than the other big bands that they've been in. So, I mean, that's the hardest thing musically, but my approach is to treat the big band like a small group.
Clap and say your name.
At the same time? Okay. Orrin Evans.
Sing the sound.